Yala from Fran Brands, and I am going live in just a minute. I'm going to invite my friend who goes by Pink Puffy 724 on Instagram. So let me just. If this works, I hope technology is on my side today because my electricity went out like twice earlier. Oh my
Hi.
God, it's working.
Yay.
Hi. Okay, so if people are watching this later or watching this right now, hello to one of you. Um, so I am talking to Madeline Foster, aka Pink Puffy 724. So Madeline, can you tell us where in the US you're joining us from?
I am from Florida. Well, wait, my AirPod's working, right? My mic is
Yep.
working. Okay, cool. It doesn't work sometimes. Yeah, I'm from Florida, way at the very bottom. So, yeah.
Where is the very bottom of Florida? I have been to Miami, and I don't even know if it was real Miami because it was, um, oh my God, where was it? It was Key Biscayne
Okay.
and Orlando. So,
I'm from Naples. It's like across the state from Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Yeah.
okay,
Everything that's above us is just swamp.
I've seen
Or
that in some
below.
movies.
Below.
Amazing. So we're going to talk about you, what you do, what you like. And what I want to get started with is just for people who, I guess, don't know who you are and what you do. Like, tell us, like, give us an introduction of yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm Madeline. I am a mixed media animator, collage artist, pretty much anything to do with like analog art. I do. I'm also a photographer, a music photographer. So I kind of just do a little bit of everything. But the through line between like all of my work is something is printed out, cut, pasted, like glued, stickers, glitter, markers, color. Like all of my art is like here I've got like all of this here, collage, color, anything that just reminds me of like childhood whimsy and discovery and play
Mm.
is what I do.
Amazing. So, for people discovering your work, I guess on Instagram for the first time, what you're posting is your mixed media work. How would
Yeah.
you describe what that is for, us Cro-Magnons who don't understand what this medium is and how much work goes into it?
Well, the process starts with just like selecting whatever videos I want to animate, and then I'll chop up the video frame by frame, print out all of the individual frames, and like edit it. Here, I've got some like on my desk right now.
Yeah,
Like
let's have a
here's here's like some random pictures of Marina. Cut all of them out, all of the frames that fit in the video, and then I just like did some oil pastel stickers, whatever, and then I'll scan those using my printer, save the images to my computer, and then sync them back up to the music. So it's definitely a long process. I am surprised that I have the patience to do it because I feel like I have no patience for anything else. But yeah, I love it.
I mean, it's just about finding, like the thing that doesn't feel like a job, right? Like it could be
Right.
work, but it doesn't have to feel like a job.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I guess like one thing I would describe also like for mixed media, like my understanding and what blew my mind was that it reminds me of like making those flip books.
Yeah.
Like it's like a very like it's a stop motion effect, but like it's like plus plus, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not like a stick man that you do like in primary school. It's like there's so many different elements that I love that you put together. And I think the fact that like you cut to the beat of like really fucking sick bangers is amazing.
Yes.
So, what is the story behind your name? I've never actually asked what's behind Pink Puffy 724. Oop, we've
I'm not
frozen.
glitching, right?
No, okay, now you're good.
Okay, cool. Well, the story behind Pink Puppy 724 is really sort of comical and very silly. It was my Club Penguin username. like growing up, and I've just like used it for everything. So I knew that I wanted to start sharing my art online, but I like didn't know how to brand myself, or I don't know. So I'm just like, okay, let me just use this that I've been using for over 10 years. It's kind of funny, kind of, random, not taking myself too seriously. I was worried that like I wouldn't like get work because it's like kind of goofy, but here we are.
But it is distinctive. Like, you don't forget that name, and
Right.
you wonder about it. I think it like definitely creates like an interest, but also I mean, maybe it is your brand if it's something you've been using since childhood,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Your work is about nostalgia and whimsy. But
They go together.
so speaking of childhood, like, would you say you were always a creative kid, or is this something like you picked up later?
Yeah, I definitely always express myself through creativity growing up, drawing all the time, stuff like that. But then I was also always into like making videos, like, video star, making the kitschy music videos. And then like in middle school, I started doing like fan editing. So I've, sort of like had those roots for a long time. And then yeah, it's only been recently where I feel like I have combined all of the
Mhm.
creative endeavors that I've ever, had throughout my life and started doing the mixed media because that's a combination of like, there's like fan editing in there, making
Mm.
videos for artists that I love, but then there's also like the analog, real element
Mhm.
of getting crafty that sort of grounds me.
No, I love that. And I would say like you've got very distinctive elements, I think, for certain artists that do show up. Would you say that there are specific like colors or textures that like remind you of certain artists? Like what would Marina be? What would
Oh,
Haley Williams be?
Marina is like colorful gems. I mean, she's got the album The Family Jewels.
Hmm.
Like, so I'm thinking sparkles, glitter to the max, like the I'm Not a Robot music video.
Yes.
But then for Haley, that's a little more grungy, a little more collagey. Like I would use more like paper textures, something like more reminiscent of like your notebook at school or like Riot
Okay.
Girl.
Got it. Got it. I love, love, love. Okay. Um, do you have a playlist that you work to? Or is it always just that one artist when you're doing a mixed media for that artist?
No, I don't usually like specifically listen to the artist that I'm making work for, although I wouldn't like it's probably happened before. I just listen to whatever I'm in the mood to listen to. But I have some albums that I'll put on my CD player that like make me specifically like very productive. Like when I listen to This Is Why or Brand New Eyes, I work so
Mm,
fast. My sister
nice.
says like she'll listen to Pet Sounds, she'll work so fast, So it's
Wow.
more kind
Okay.
of like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like my productive albums would probably be anything Riot Girl, like Bikini Kill or like Slater Kinney. Um, but also like the kind of 2000s synth poppy stuff,
Oh,
and
that makes so much
any like
sense.
Swedish pop star. But
Yes.
amazing. So let's talk about like what you were obsessed with growing up, because you say like, your some of your work that shows up on your Instagram today is like grown out of fandom. So like
Yeah.
what were the fandoms that shaped you?
Well, I've always been the type of person to like be obsessed with something. I've never liked anything normal. I think the most influential fandoms for me, I grew up loving the show Survivor. So I was like a part of like the Survivor fandom for a long time. And like I'll still like in college I played like Survivor on campus. It was really fun. Amazing Race too. So
Oh wow.
that was one of the most prominent fandoms I've ever been involved in, which sounds so random considering like what it is that I post here. Like that has nothing to do with music or anything. But that was one of the ones that I was always very obsessed with, still am. Um,
What made you so obsessed with it? What was like the thing that kept like pulling you in?
just like the strategy of it, the intellectual nature of it is just something that I've always gravitated towards. Like, yeah, I love the social strategy. I
Mm,
love, you know, for someone who lived a very like closed
mm,
off, sort of sheltered life, it gave me the opportunity to like see other worldviews
mm.
and yeah, which was something that I lacked like in real life, but it sort of gave me like a broader perspective.
I love that. Okay, so Survivor. Maybe not, maybe it's like a tangent, but
Yeah.
if you had to go like survive in the like on a desert island, what
Hmm.
are your three things that you're taking with you? Practical or impractical?
Okay. Gosh, I feel like this is something that I probably should think about, but I have never thought about
It's
this.
it's better
I
if
would
it's organic, if it like just
I
comes
would
to you.
I think I would definitely have to take like a notebook and a pen or a pencil.
Mm,
I would go crazy if I wasn't able to like write stuff down or draw or anything like that or journal. Um, so I'll count that as one.
yeah,
And then like, oh my gosh, like if I'm going there with nothing, like Tylenol,
nice.
because I'm gonna get headaches. And then, oh, like an iPod that
Okay,
never dies.
yeah, I said impractical. Yeah,
Yeah.
impractical. What kind of iPod? What model?
Okay. Probably a Nano, just because it has games on it.
What color?
Pink. I grew up
Nice.
with a green one. Here, they're actually right here.
No way. Okay.
Oh, sorry, there are a ton of cords. So this was my family's iPod that I grew up with.
Ah!
This green Nano. These are scratch and sniff stickers. They still
Oh my
smell.
God.
Um, and then I've got this pink
Amazing. I had a red
iPod.
one and a purple one.
Ooh.
One of I think the purple one got sacrificed to the clubbing gods when I was going home.
Oh
Slightly
no.
impaired, but then I got a red one and I held on to that.
Nice. Then I got
So
this green one, which is cool.
ooh, love.
Yeah.
Is there, speaking of like, I guess like dated or like ancient or childhood technology, is there something that you wish we could bring back and just like make a thing again?
As far as like things that I might miss from, I would say just like the more pure version of like social media.
Mm,
It is just riddled with ads, people trying to sell you things, people thinking that they can just like have a job online and like not get a real job. Like I don't know, it just has created such a weird artificial culture to where what used to be a nerdy space like has been overrun by people with bad taste, and I just wish that it was more of a purposeful tastemaker. I wish that it was more organic. I
mm.
wish that I don't know that there are just so many problems that have come because of social media. I mean, remember when you used to be on Instagram and you would scroll through your feed and then it would tell you were done for the day?
Yeah.
Or like you used to not be able to post a video that was longer than a minute. Like simple things like that really bring it back to the core of what it was. And I think that that's what people miss, because then like you get sucked down all the rabbit holes and the doom scrolling and whatever, and it's just not
Attention
like,
like is its own economy now. And I mean,
yeah,
people are really trying to commercialize and capitalize on it, which is
yeah,
why I miss things like, remember when Instagram stories were like 10 seconds?
yes.
And then there was
Remember when Instagram
Vine.
didn't have stories?
There was Vine where you could like just do 6 seconds.
Yes.
That
Hmm.
was, I had a lot of fun with that actually. I did a lot of
Yeah.
like little like 6 second like micro whatever films, like stuff disappearing from my brunch plate or whatever. But um, what was the first social media platform that you got on?
Ooh, this is a fun question. Okay, the first social media platform, which wasn't really like officially considered like a social media platform, but it definitely was called Drawcast. Um, so it was similar to like DeviantArt or whatever, like an
Okay.
online digital art space where you would just draw stuff and post it. But this had a social media element with like likes and comments and followers and stuff like that.
Ooh.
That was like more than just like leaving a random footnote comment. Like it was an involved social media
Mm,
platform. You could also post photos like
mm,
separate from your art, like on your account. So that was where I like did a lot of discovery about like the music that I liked, different
mhm.
tastes. This sort of coincided with like the Tumblr era. So that was like all that was on there. And it was sort of like an awakening. That was before I had Instagram or anything like that. Yeah.
And would you say what is the social media platform that you're most active on from like a work or artist perspective?
Well, probably Instagram just because that's where like I post, that's how I get work.
Hmm.
Most of the people who find me and commission me, or most of my reaching out that's not like formal emails, is gonna take place on Instagram.
Mm.
But I would say I'm just as active on Tumblr as I am Instagram. And then like Pinterest is always like in my browser tabs.
Okay. Have you ever Pinterested something like done like a board that you were like, what have I done? I don't think this is it at all. Like, cause Pinterest can like get you sucked in, and then I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know, like I'm neurospicy and like I've fixated on stuff, and then been like, no, 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 this is just like saving stuff that I'm never gonna read, you know? Like, okay, I'll make a confession. Like, with my last relationship that was like 7 years, I used to like get really drunk, and while I was blacked out at home, I would like Pinterest my hypothetical wedding. We were not engaged, and I had like horrible taste, like jewel toned bridesmaid dress, like eggplant colored bullshit.
No.
It was anyway. They don't exist anymore, but I will never forget like how horrible your taste can be when you're like impaired. Like, have you ever had anything like that,
Well, I've
or
never
like a
been drunk, so I
phase?
don't I don't think anything like that has happened to me.
Well, I don't drink.
But
Yeah, I don't drink at all anymore because again, she made poor
yeah.
choices. But um, okay, is there I guess a period or like a fandom or something that you were like very into and obsessed with that you are no longer like about that anymore?
Like as far maybe like I wasn't involved in this fandom, but I was like into Panic at the Disco, and Brendan
Guilty.
Urie just kind of sucks. So I'd probably say that one. This was around like Death of a Bachelor era. I was
Got
in middle
it.
school. Um, Yeah, I remember at lunch, like almost every day, me and my friends would watch a video of Brendan Urie covering Bohemian Rhapsody
Oh my
on
God,
YouTube.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Like, it's good, but I wouldn't like
It's
watch it every
talented.
day anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I absolutely 100% get it. Yeah, I was very into like those 90s boy bands, like the
Mm.
ones even before the Backstreet Boys, and like the ones that are like have mostly gay members now or dead ones. But
Oh,
um, what was I'm a little older than you. So,
yeah.
what do you think, like, if young baby teenage Madeline kind of like saw your life now, saw you making art, being creative, and working with artists that you like actually love, what do you think she, would say to you, or what would she think?
Oh, she would be so surprised because I mean there's like a lot of like context and lore here. Um I so to, to provide some context, I like did early college, like dual enrollment in high school, and then I went to University of Florida, and I was set to go to law school.
Oh
Like
wow.
that was my path. I was like hard set on doing that. And then last spring, I was still gonna go to law school. I was applying. I had taken the LSAT, did
Mm,
terrible on it. So then I was gonna prepare to take it again, and then it just like I broke. I couldn't do it anymore. I
mm,
couldn't take the stress of it. Um, I think there was always something telling me that I just wasn't sure if I was maybe not like if it I didn't know if it was not the thing for me to be doing, but I wasn't sure if I was ready, but I wasn't brave enough to like admit that to myself because I had gone so far,
mm.
um, gotten so deep into it, and like I don't know. I wasn't really being honest with myself, I think. I wasn't allowing myself to like dream big or anything like that just because, you know, my example, like, you know, when you're like in public school, they just tell you to do the right, good, like money making jobs. And
It's
especially if you're someone
money.
like me who I got really good grades and everybody said I was really smart. So I kind of just thought that was what I had to do. Um, but I didn't really think too much about it. And listen, like I was a teenager doing this. Like
Yeah.
I took the LSAT like before I was 20. Like I had no business making these decisions for myself, um, thinking that I was ready for like I wasn't ready for this, and that's okay. So I just kind of broke and then spiraled into a depression, and it was like August last year where I was like, okay, I need to like do something, not necessarily anything serious, because I was like applying for like grocery store jobs and I wasn't getting hired at any of them. And I'm like, I have a bachelor's degree. Why can't I get a job? So, like, I was at home, you know, just kind of like thinking, I mean, I still live at home, but I was thinking, like, I don't know, I gotta like pick up a hobby or something. And my sister was already doing mixed media,
Mm.
and she had been pretty successful at it. And I was like, okay. And she had like been getting work with it. And I was like, okay, like, I mean, it looks fun. It's like all the things I like to do. I don't want to like steal her thunder, but I guess I'll try. So it was just going to be like a hobby. And then so that was in August. And then in September, I posted on Instagram,
Hmm.
this Instagram page for the first time. And literally my second post went viral. And I was like, whoa, what? It's still my highest performing post.
How viral?
Well, right now it's got like 700,000 views.
What? What? Oh my God, that's
And
amazing.
like that was surprising because usually when you like make a new account and you post stuff, you're in like zero view purgatory.
Yep.
So it was like, what? What? And then a
What was
couple weeks
the
later, I started getting like I didn't even have in my bio, I'm open
mhm.
for work because I had just started. I didn't know what I was doing. And then I started getting like DMs from a lot of people
I
being
love
like,
this.
"Hey, I want to commission you." I'm like, "What? I'm not ready," but I was doing it anyways. It kind of just didn't stop. It was so weird. But yeah, like I mean, first of all, if teenage me, like 15-year-old me would like knew what I was doing now, her first reaction would be, "You're not on Survivor yet? They didn't cast you yet." Um I'm working on it still. But yeah, this just I mean, this type of career, like I mean, obviously I couldn't have imagined anything like this was even out there for me growing up, like in middle school, high school. Like I just didn't know that something like this would exist because I also think that the opportunities that I've had right now sort of come as a product of the current time where like social media has really been like the biggest factor in
Hmm.
me gaining momentum and getting work and stuff. Like I wouldn't be where I am now if it weren't for like some posts doing really well. Um,
I
yeah,
mean, that is
it
how
just
we
wasn't on my
met.
radar.
That is totally how we met.
Yeah.
So for to give people context, like I was recommended because I'm very intentional about like my algorithm. And I tell it what I hate and love, but like I was recommended Pink Puffy 724 and I saw her work, I saw Madeline's work and I was like, wait a minute. I'm about to take my comedy group to the world's biggest performing arts festival, and there's like what, thousands of shows. And I was just like, this person, I have to work with this woman. And then we DM'd, and that was that. But like, on top of, I guess, me reaching out and us meeting, what's been like the most, because it's obviously not me, what's been like the most like satisfying or surprising or random opportunity that's come from posting your work?
Probably I would classify this as all of the above, surprising, satisfying, random, just because it wasn't on my radar really. Um, it would definitely have to be doing media for Tree Fort Fest in March, which hosted like Magdalena Bay, Geese, Father John Misty. I know. It just wasn't really on my radar to do something like that. And further, like I had been talking with my sister and we were like, we've got some friends who have been doing mixed media animations like for different music festivals. Let's like give it a try, see if we can reach out to any like independent festivals, see if they want us to do some social media stuff for them. Um, and we reached out to some. Treefort had actually liked one of my Instagram posts,
Hmm.
so that sort of inspired us to reach out immediately to them, and we said, hey, we do this and that. Do you want us to make social media posts for you, advertising the festival? And they were like, well, we can't offer you a spot doing stuff for our social media, but we would be interested in allowing you guys to like be on the press team and like do press stuff, which is
Ooh.
so crazy thinking about it because I really didn't know anything about this at the time or what it meant to do press for a festival. But like, that's not normal. It's not normal to just like be a freelance artist and like host your work like on your Instagram. Like, usually when you're applying to press for a festival, you have an editor, you're working for a publication, and you're doing photography or something written. Like, this was random. I have no idea why they said yes to us, but they did. So we went, and at first we were like, okay, well, we're going to do these animations. Wait, we have to take the footage ourselves. We did not own like a fancy camera. We had to get a camera.
Oh, wow.
Like, we were not photographers or videographers, but we just kind of went and did it. And I can't thank them enough for doing that because that gave us like a good credential to be able to use for other stuff, which we currently are, but I can't talk about it.
That's okay. That's okay. Okay. Was there a moment when you went from like posting art that you made on Instagram that you just liked? Was there a moment that made you realize, oh, like on top of like going viral, was there a moment that where you thought, oh, this could really be like what I do? This could be my work?
Yeah, it would definitely be when I like all of that influx of people commissioning me for stuff came in just like out of nowhere before I even said, yeah, I'm open for this stuff. Because I wasn't making any money at the time doing anything. Um, so that was, and since has been my sole source of income has been doing commissions and things like that. So yeah, probably that.
What, how much, I guess, percent of your work would you say is your discoverability versus you actually reaching out?
Um, most of it would be people discovering me. I like have been surprised by the types of people who have reached out. Like, for instance, I'm doing work with one of my favorite brands right now that reached out to me. I was like, what? How did you find me? um, as far as any of the like the big ticket gigs that I have done or am doing soon, that would mostly be reaching out. But the leverage of like, well, for instance, I'm currently working with some people who already were following me, and
Okay.
I was like, let's do something. Let's do something big. Um, and that, like, if some of those projects materialize, that would be like a major full circle career moment, but I can't say yet.
That's okay.
Ah!
That's okay. People are just gonna have to follow you.
Yeah.
So, what was I going to say? I was going to ask actually, like, how much do you know about like the Instagram algorithm? Is there like studying that you did, or is it just something that's happened organically because you're posting original work? Or
Yeah, I know nothing.
okay.
It kind of just like was massive luck. I I do not know. I mean, like I'll check my insights sometimes and it'll be like your followers are most active at these times of day. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll post then, but other than that, like yeah, I've got no clue. It just
Okay.
kind of happens.
I mean, what I will say is like I think mixed media or like your posting formats are definitely optimized for
Mhm.
Instagram in the sense that like their videos, they're visual, they're eye-catching, and they're short.
Yeah.
Um, but also, I mean, you have this whole network of other artists, and I think there's something about those collaborations that, really helps to actually like grow your following.
Right.
Because it's not fake, if like it's
Mhm.
someone you respect, that says, they want to work with you. I guess people are just like, okay, this is legit, instead
Mhm.
of like, hello, these are like my adult diapers or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, is there something you think people misunderstand about being a freelance artist?
I think like on the money side of it, I mean, a lot of people who reach out to me are like independent artists. But also like I think people, especially in my line of work, I think people misunderstand like the amount of time it takes to create a product and like how I then should be compensated for it. But also, I think for me, because most of my discovery comes from social media, it's like there are two or three halves of my job. Number one, I'm working on all of the present work that I'm doing, commission work, which is all the time. There hasn't been a period of time lately where I haven't been working on three or four at a time.
Wow.
Um, and then they just like keep coming. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't want anybody to commission me anymore. And then I'll just like get four more,
Hmm.
and I'm like, no, I want a break. I want a vacation. Um, but yeah, so like I'm always working on projects, but then also I'm always having to sort of like come up with new crazy ideas to like reach out to people to try to expand my horizons and
Hmm.
like grow my career. Because like if I wasn't having crazy ideas, then I wouldn't be reaching the heights of like doing press for a music festival and stuff like that. Like I'm entering that world more and more, and like for me, those are crazy ideas, because I'm just little old me. What am I doing there? I just started, like I'm brand new. But working with others on, you know, big projects, I'm I'm always thinking about what the next big project is that I'm going to work on. And then also there's a certain amount of upkeep that I have to keep like with my page, because
Hmm.
I need to keep posting original animations and whatnot, to keep people engaged, to keep my engagement up, because that's not only leverage for projects and for getting paid, um, but that's also how people discover me in the first place. So if
Yeah,
I'm
it's your
not
visibility.
Exactly. So if I'm not keeping that up and continuing to create original work, then I'm not going to get commission work to make money.
No, I get it. Okay, so of course the social media presence is essential. What other, I guess, like assets would you advise like someone who's starting out as a freelance artist? What other assets should they put together? Is a portfolio still a thing? Is it a website? Is it something that people can like print out and show their like crusty old boss? Like, what would you suggest?
Yeah, whenever I apply to something, I'm usually always asked to link like a website portfolio. So I would definitely say that that is important. I need to update mine. Um, but beyond that, I think usually what most people are looking for in you being hired is like your unique perspective, your unique style. So that can take time to hone. I mean, I spent a long time just experimenting with stuff before I feel like it. it really began to click for me. Um, and then even sometimes like when I thought it clicked, no, it's clicking now, you know.
Hmm.
So I think it just takes a lot of experimentation, a lot of dedication to your craft, and it can be discouraging, like to have to like put all that work in to, you
You have to
know,
mess up to find out
to for that trial and
what you
error.
love
Yeah,
and what you're good at. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Has what has been like, I guess, a challenge in building a creative career? What's been a challenge that you really learned from or grew from?
I think usually the most challenging part for me would just be like managing my schedule because like I don't clock in and clock out. My job
Hmm.
is kind of all the time.
Hmm.
So that has been the biggest challenge, sort of balancing like when I'm working and when I'm not, and taking time for my mental health, because you know my struggles with mental health were part of the reason why I started doing this in the first place, and I don't ever want it to become too much to where I feel like I'm losing sight of the fact that doing mixed media and things like that make me happy and are what ground me.
Hmm.
um so that, which I still struggle with all the
Hmm.
time, but I think, you know, I'm still new to this. So with time, it'll get better. Um, and also just realizing that when I'm working with a client, like I'm in control.
Hmm.
And, but so that means like I'm in control as far as like what I think I should be compensated for. Um, but then also I'm in control with like I make my deadlines. I need to
Yeah.
meet my deadlines.
Yeah.
Things like that. You know, there's no one telling me I have to do or not do anything, which can be difficult when like my really only experiences with working in any capacity would be like, you know, in school I had deadlines, I met my deadlines, I did what I needed to do. But now it's all on me.
Yeah, it's not like a test, right? Where it's like, okay, you
Right.
have this much time to fill this out. It's like, okay, this is the day I need to submit it. Like, you do
Mm-hmm.
it like when you're free in your day. And, there is something freeing, but also scary about it
Right. Like I was
because,
having a conversation with a friend
mm,
yesterday who works a creative job. She also does mixed media and animation and stuff like that, but she works a structured job for a production company.
got it.
And she was telling me yesterday that she was jealous of me for like being a freelancer and having more of that freedom to do the projects that I want to do. But I was like, girl, I'm jealous of you because like you have scheduled deadlines, you have a boss, you make a lot more money than I do. Like, you know,
Well, I
I just
think
think
like
that was
if there's a
interesting.
fuck up, like it doesn't necessarily 100% just fall on, I guess, like someone who's part of a team,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like, and that's slightly less intimidating than be like, okay, so if I mess this up, it was just me. It was on me.
yeah.
But sometimes it's also like challenge accepted.
Mhm.
Um, okay, so I was also going to ask, speaking of like client work and freelancing, what is your like ideal creative brief? If somebody comes to you and wants to commission a piece of work, what is the essential information that you need to get started?
Well, you'd be surprised at how many people like don't tell me what they want the length of the animation to be because I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
well, I charge this amount per second. That's how that's how I know what to ask you to pay me. So you'd be surprised at how many people don't tell me that, and also like the aspect ratio. Because like I don't know if this is going to be posted on your Instagram vertically. I don't know if you want this on YouTube as a horizontal video. Like you got to tell me those things. Because then sometimes I'll forget to ask, and then I'll go to make it. I'm like, so what did you want? What aspect ratio did you want? Um,
Oh, yeah, and
but then
then
also just like, I mean, sometimes it's frustrating when people like reach out to me and they're like, oh yeah, I'll have the footage in like 5 months. Or like, I think I want the footage now. Like if you're contacting me now, I mean I get it. People want to like price it out, but yeah. So footage, but then also like I like it when people give me references, and those could be references from my work. They could be any random image that they find on Pinterest. It can be stuff that they already have done for whatever project I'm working on. Um, because otherwise, then I don't really know where to take the animation. And when I'm working for a client, my instinct isn't always to deliver them my usual style because I've had plenty of people ask for something completely different.
Hmm.
So, yeah, and anything like that.
Have you ever had a client, and you don't have to obviously say who they are if yes, but have you ever had a client not know what they want and then you do something and then they decide they don't want it, and that's kind of like the way they work. It's like they don't know what they want until they see something they don't like.
Fortunately, I have not.
Awesome.
I try to like make that clear like before I even started so I like know what they want, but I think my sister has.
Okay. That's good though.
Which is
That's
so
good
frustrating
because
because like making edits for mixed media is hard. I basically have to do it all over again.
yeah, I know. And I mean, again, it's very painstaking for something that lives for seconds,
Right.
right? And I think that it's, again, I think social media and again, the whole like attention economy, people take for granted the work sometimes that can be put into something that kind of stays online or in their head like ephemerally.
Yeah.
Um, so okay, what was I going to ask next? Is there something that you wish that clients you've had like wouldn't do? Is there something that you get asked often or that clients do often that you're like, let's not? Like for me, it's when they ask me how much it is and then they say yes. And then when I give them an invoice, they're like, oh, not, I didn't actually want that. So that's me. It's like negotiations after we've like verbally agreed on a price.
I would probably think people trying to negotiate like the price that I give them because there's a reason why my rate is what it is. And I should be charging more than what I do, to be candid, but sometimes like I don't want to risk losing work entirely when I could be making something that is sort of acceptable. But so many people come to me and they're like, "Yeah, I've got $100. Can you make me a 30-second video?" I go, "No, no, I can't do that."
Oh my God. Um, okay, this is something interesting that you said also is that do you think you would lose clients if you priced yourself higher? What is the hesitation for someone who's gone viral and worked with like Magdalena Bay?
Yeah, I think that I would lose clients just because most of my client base are independent. Um,
Hmm.
and I mean, I'm fortunate to have quite a few repeat clients, but I might only be making $200 per gig. And that's not always enough, but also, um, you can keep in mind like the type of person that you're working for, and sometimes if it's a higher budget project, those come. So, gosh, I'm trying to be like as delicate as I can with this, but like, like
Do you think it's higher budget, more constraints, or like,
I don't think that I would at this point have enough of the higher budget projects to where I can go, yeah, I can like double my rate or something like that. Um, because like there has been experimentation with it up to this point, but yeah,
so it's like there
yeah,
would be more at stake for like a big
yeah,
budget? Okay, I get it, I get it. Um, it's very interesting because I mean we all go through that, right? Like in our careers, we're like, okay, like for those of us who've freelanced, it's like when is the time when it's right? When is it enough? of like your credibility building projects that you can be like, okay, guys, it's now going to be this much. And I've
Right.
also struggled with that. Um, and it was like really like kind of only in my 30s that I was like, no, you know what? Like I've done good shit, and I just need to like make it more public. And I think I that's where like the branding element comes in. Like for example, like your website I think is very well structured in terms of like people get what you do, who you are, what you're about, but like it's not overwhelming. And I guess what would you say is the information that a freelance artist needs to put out there? Like, what's the most important information other than the work that they need to put out there to be like hireable or for people to know what they're about?
I honestly think that keeping it simple is important because you don't want to overwhelm a potential client. If they've got questions, they'll ask. Um, I just think you like because you don't always necessarily need to go into great detail about like the whole process of how you make what you make.
Yeah.
I mean, for some people that may be the case, but for me and for many others, I don't think it's always relevant. Like if you want to create, like you mentioned in my website, like if you want to create like something concise that just sort of demonstrates who you are and what you do, I think that it's important to, like simply state what you do and how it can be applied to whatever hireable project. But the most important thing is just going to be like showing examples of your work because it's not very interesting if you just got like paragraphs and paragraphs of text and like few examples. Put as
People
many
don't
examples
like
as you want.
look at information that way anymore, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it is slightly coming back, I would say, in like the Substack era.
Yeah.
But this is not like for clients, for artists, right?
Hmm.
Like they obviously want the visual like information immediately. So what would I guess what would that conversation look like? Um if somebody came to you and said, "Look, I just like your work. I'm going to bankroll you for whatever artist you want to work with," and not to collab, but like an artist like who you would want to portray or represent or like support in your art. Who's that dream project?
It's Paramore.
Okay, 100% Paramore.
Paramore and Hayley Williams are also known to like uplift their fans, uplift like the creative work of their fans. Um, for instance, my sister just did photography directly working with Hayley and her team. So we just went to Kilby Block Party a month ago,
Hmm.
and uh, instead of like being hired by the festival to do photography, we the both of us reached out to a bunch of artists who were billed for the festival and reached out and said like, do you need any photographers like for your set or anything like that? Hayley's team was the only one to say yes, which
Amazing.
was kind of crazy because that was one that we were like more nervous to send because like that's a really highly billed artist, like whoa. But also Hayley had interacted with her posts on social media before, so like she knew who she was, and so did Hayley's manager. So, you know, a little while later, her manager emailed my sister back and was like, "We're huge fans of your work. Yes, we're gonna let you
Amazing.
photograph the entire set." So it was just her and like Paramore's photographer Zachary Gray in the photo bit the whole time, just the two of them.
I love that.
And it was so crazy. So she did a couple collab posts with Hayley Williams HQ doing animation and photography. So yeah, it would be something like that, which might be in my future.
All right, let's put the vibes out there into the universe. Paramore, please work with Pink Puffy 724.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Paramore song?
Franklin.
Mine is a tie between Crush 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 and ooh, Still Into You? Maybe.
Oh girl.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Um Did you see that video in New York when they were outside the Paramore concert and like the whole crowd was just like singing because someone was on the drums in the street? I will send it to you.
No.
I will send it to you. It's so good. They're just singing Misery Business, like
Oh, that's so
like
awesome.
a cappella but with drums. It's
Oh, that's
great.
so good.
Um, so do you think creativity feels different now than maybe it did 10 years ago? Like in terms of finding inspiration, coming up with new ideas?
I think, I mean, I'm not sure. I think I've always been inspired by whatever randomness. So I think for me personally speaking, no.
Hmm.
I think maybe I'm more intentional now than I was 10 years ago in searching for inspiration. Um, I think that honestly, I would almost say, as much as I kind of hate social media, I
Hmm.
think that it has now like given me the opportunity to like find more to be inspired
Access.
by. Yeah, like so many other like-minded artists that I may not have known existed 10 years
Hmm.
ago.
Okay, so who are your favorite like artists that you've met on social media? Let's give them a shout out.
Okay. Um, well, I just met one in person yesterday. We went and like go went to go have coffee. So Ali Vids, love her. That's my goat. Also, Phoenix Barfus, love her. Oh, she's so talented. Um, yeah, like Kate Vids. Oh my gosh. Oh, HEV Deluxe,
So there's a
Starry
lot. You're
Grimes.
meeting, yeah, you're meeting a lot of people, which is
Yeah.
awesome. Like it is a whole community that we do have access to, I guess, via social media. Um, it's but I think we just have to be like super vigilant also about like the slop, right?
Yes.
Which leads to my next question. Um, what is your opinion on people's obsession with generative AI and using it to replace creative or original thought?
Why would anyone be like, are people actually obsessed with it? I try to like distance myself from that. It's so it's so gross, and to all those people out there, you have terrible taste. Um it's just so embarrassing.
Do you think it
Like
comes from a place of insecurity, maybe? Like,
insecurity, complacency, apathy, like
yeah.
not really understanding art. I think that the people who enjoy or don't take issue with generative AI are probably not creative people, and that's okay. Not everyone has to be. Everyone has their own unique gifts and skills. So, I think that we are living in a time right now where everybody thinks that they should have access to and be able to do anything that they want. It has to do with like FOMO culture or whatever, but everyone just has such nerve and entitlement, and I think that you've got so many people using arguments with like, I can't do XYZ, so I should have generative AI to to make art. No, you're just stupid.
And also, I feel like it kind of makes us lose that urge to connect with people who can
Yeah.
support us
Hmm.
because we're leaning on technology, but also like producing things that are just bad or generic,
Yeah.
you know? And again, like I think AI has its purposes, but I do not think it should replace original thought or creativity.
Yeah.
Um, and there's something also I think about the creative process or the production process where like you have
Absolutely.
happy accidents and you make mistakes and there's still some joy or like knowledge, that you can't get from this obsession with like optimization and perfectionism,
Hmm. You
like
you lose like real human touch. I mean, you think about it, it's present in self-checkout lines at the grocery store. It's present in generative AI. The need for constant optimization and efficiency just doesn't make any sense to me because then you kind of lose life.
I know, and then you're not living. Then you're not living.
Yeah.
Okay, we're close to the end of the hour, so I'm gonna. That was quick, but I'm gonna jump into like some quick fire questions,
Okay.
and just like answer like with the first thing that comes into your head.
Okay.
Um, all right. Favorite crafting supply?
Ooh, right now I'd say like stickers or like scrapbook paper.
Okay. Um, the last song you listened to.
I think it was Sugar We're Going Down. I think. Hold on.
Nice.
I think so.
All right. Favorite song lyric that you might even tattoo on yourself if like that's how much you love it.
Uh, uh, it's not faith if you use your eyes from Miracle by Paramore.
Um, favorite crayon color.
Oh, magenta.
All
Any
right.
type of like hot pink magenta. Yeah.
Um, who would you choose to be your amazing race partner?
My sister. We have done Amazing Race at our college twice.
And what is it about your sister that would make you like choose her to be your partner?
Well, we're just like I feel like we understand each other on a level that like, not everybody else can. Like that's just sort of what happens when you like have a close relationship with someone. We understand our strengths and weaknesses, and we are not embarrassed by the fact that we are extremely inathletic.
Okay, awesome. Favorite emoji.
Ooh, like the unicorn.
Okay, if you could be a mythical creature, which one would you be?
I'd be a unicorn.
You'd be a unicorn. Okay, what would your unicorn name be?
Pink puffy.
Okay, still think puffy. Love, love, love. Um, and what would be the first line in your obituary? AKA like how would you like to die? Like and be remembered? Like
You said, how would you like to die? Like cause of death?
yeah,
No.
yeah. I would like to die in my sleep.
Oh, that'd probably be peaceful. Yeah, yeah. Gosh, I don't know. I
Okay, but
don't know
I'll
if
give you an
usually would.
easier one. What's your
Okay.
funeral song?
Oh, something fun like mm, like As by Stevie Wonder or something like that. Like
Oh, I
anything from
love
Songs in the Key
that.
of Life. Yeah.
I love that. And if you had to stop making art like tomorrow,
Yeah.
forever, if you had to stop, something happened, or just like, I don't know, like you got legally banned or whatever, if you had to stop making art forever tomorrow, how would
Yeah.
you like people to remember you?
Um, I mean, probably just by like I feel like a lot of the bright colors and tactileness of my art is just reminiscent of like joy and nostalgia, and I would hope that that's how people would remember my art.
And so if your art could like say something, like what are you trying to tell your fans? Like what is that message?
My fans.
Your fans, yeah, your followers.
Just I mean, I think this is something that I need to listen to myself is, just like stop stressing about everything. It's gonna be fine. Have fun. Allow yourself to have fun. Allow yourself to be happy.
And what would you say is like the reason or like the importance or role that having a whimsical or like having whimsy in your life um, plays?
I think it's important to not take yourself or things too seriously because that's sort of how like I don't know. As far as like for instance, if I was going to follow that law track like I thought I was for the past, I don't know, 5 years, something like that, you know, I wouldn't be living my life honestly or you know, I wouldn't discover my true potential and allow myself to dream big or reach ultimate happiness. So Oh my gosh, I forgot the question.
No, the question is like, why is it important to like have whimsy and like fun
Yeah,
and joy in your life?
yeah, I think
Prioritize it.
just to allow yourself to not take things too seriously and to understand that like boring, not everything has to be boring, not everything has to be like what other people tell you it should be. Um I think that life is most fun when you're living with an air of like spontaneity,
Hmm.
and I think people often forget that or overlook that or sort of like brush like their happiness or their desires to the wayside and not allow themselves to like really explore that.
What's the most random t-shirt you own?
Ooh. Okay, I used to have one that was like a Dairy Queen t-shirt. Most random. I went to like a Survivor wash party, and got a t-shirt for free for like the current season. So maybe that one.
Nice. Do you collect anything?
Oh, I collect a bunch of things. I collect CDs. Hold on. These are all my CDs. I've got like
Ooh.
more up there and in the cabinet. But yeah, that's my CD player. It's really awesome. I love it. I collect art supplies, I guess. I've got
Mhm.
so many art supplies that I don't know even what to do with them. I also collect, like the buffs they wear on Survivor, like the little like neck things. I collect those.
Ah, I love this. I love this. Okay. If somebody was gonna make you a mixtape or like burn you a CD,
Yeah,
um, what would be your ideal opening track? And you would be like, "You get me."
Helena Beat by Foster the People.
Okay.
That's maybe my favorite opening track of an album ever. And I'm a
Hmm.
sucker for an opening track on an album. I feel like those are always my favorite, but that one.
Okay. What's a song that reminds you of falling in love?
Well, I've never. um, I'm gonna say I've been listening to this song a lot right now. I'll say Starlight by Muse.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay. And then finally, for people who are thinking about becoming freelance artists, like, or younger artists who aren't, sure what they want to do for a career, what advice would you give them?
I think to not be scared or embarrassed by what it is that you do. I think for me and my journey, being sort of like involved in like fandom culture and things like that, it can sort of like for me it made me want to shy away a little bit from like taking my art seriously. So I think just not being afraid of what it is that you're creating and like having full confidence in what it is that you're creating, because if you stay consistent and if you continue to work hard at your craft, there will be an audience for it. Um, and people do care. I consistently am surprised by how many people seem to care about what it is that I make. Because like I know that I can be very hard on myself. So yeah, to not be so hard on yourself too.
All right. Well, we've gone slightly over, but thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for
And
having
again,
me.
it was wonderful. Again, like I love working with you. Your work is just such a breath of fresh air, again, with all the
Thank
slop
you.
that's out there. So for people who want to follow Madeline, Pink Puffy 724 on Instagram. And I will also post this on Substack and link you the thing. So thank you, and I'll talk
Yay.
to you soon.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.